Alright, so first match against Forbes here, playing Kaigalichi. This is usually more of a more controlling champion. Put the bottom 3 cards of your deck into your crypt, then return a random card from your discard pile to your hand. This hand's kind of slow and clunky, and it's a little bit weak to Hero Fall, so I think I'm going to go ahead and throw this one back. This hand is much better. It's got a 2-drop. It's basically the same hand with just 1 copy of each of these and an accelerant, which is what we're looking to do. We need a Ruby threshold at some point, but that's fine. I don't have Hierophant. What is a good replacement in this deck? You'd probably want some other kind of payoff card. I'm not sure what that would be offhand. Rock Cash, sure. Alright, do I want to just jam the Rune Hierophant here? Yeah, I feel like I do. Try and draw out the removal. Yep, there's Hero Fall. So Hero Fall destroys the troop it targets, then takes all copies of that card out of my deck. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to mulligan that first hand I had, where I had 2 copies of Rune and 2 copies of Commander P.R.O.M.P.T in my hand, because if I had another Rune in my hand, it would just be getting ripped out of it right now. So I'd rather mulligan a hand to something that's going to be slightly more consistent. There's our Ruby threshold. Opponent does have 5 cards in their hand still, though, so we'll see where this goes, how many more threats they have. I don't actually know if this deck that I'm playing is good or not. I just kind of enjoy getting people with Surging Wildfire, so I've been playing it. Alright, well, they didn't get one of their pieces of removal back, so that's good for us. We'll see if they have another piece of removal in hand. It's not looking like it. That's good for me. So they got 2 blood shards in their hand from the Cottontail Explorer. This flips 3 cards from the bottom of their deck into their discard pile, and all the ones that are resources get put into their hand. I'm going to play our Acolyte of Shoku out here, and then activate it to make a Dreadling, which the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T makes bigger. Am I willing to give up Commander P.R.O.M.P.T to a Strangle? I don't know that I am. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass the turn here. Because I have this Blitz in my hand, I can potentially protect Commander P.R.O.M.P.T from a Strangle later if I leave a resource up and a troop unexhausted. It's probably going to be pretty unbeatable at this point. We don't. So this card, they can sacrifice other troops to give it life drain or flight, and they can sacrifice a troop to return it from their discard pile to play. I'm going to play this. I'm going to activate this. I'm going to champ power this. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to crack with both my guys here. If they chump block the Dreadling here with the Rotpaw Gang, I can blitz the Dreadling. Yeah, it does return it to their hand, but like they have some resources, so. Yep. Life Drain is lifelink if you're familiar with Magic. And there's no way they're double blocking here, especially because it says Crush. There's no reason for them not to just use their life total as a resource. Wow, that's pretty defensive. I think that's good for me, right? Unfortunately, I can't Blitz to save this, so I'm just going to let this happen, I think. So, I'm going to take 4 points of damage and we'll pass back to myself. I guess if we draw Surging Wildfire at this point, we could still potentially steal the game with this Blitz. Dreamweaver Ancient would also be pretty good. See what my opponent has here. I don't think they can return and replay this turn, so maybe we're going to get a window to take them down. This Acolyte of Shoku is kind of nice to just like gives us something to sit here and do with our resources. Those are 2 ramp rabbits. So these, whenever they attack, my opponent gains a permanent resource. Alright, so I'm going to put Commander P.R.O.M.P.T in front of this one, I think. Because this way my guy will have 3 defense remaining. And then if they go to strangle my Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, I can Blitz to save it. Yeah, I agree. I definitely should not block with it. Hey, look! There's that strangle I said we were going to play around. So, my 3-3, each your 2-2. Can I draw Surging Wildfire, please? Aspect of the Squirrel is kind of an insane hit. How many troops are in my discard pile? Plenty? Yep. Well, let's activate this. This gives a troop +3/+3 in Crush, +3/+3 and then an additional +1 in Crush from the socket that's in it. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with everything here. A lot of these decks don't play horrors. I think, even though I could aspect this to kill this, I kind of want to just aspect this to play around a potential strangle. Because they could easily have a second strangle here, I think. So, this is going to connect for 9-12 here and put them to 5. This one gives Skyguard and Steadfast. It's pretty decent. An Aspect of the Squirrel says, when I cast this, I can scrounge 3, which means remove 3 troops in my crypt from the game. And then it creates a new Aspect of the Squirrel to put in my hand. And then this new aspect, if I have 3 troops in my discard pile again, which I do because this Acolyte of Shoku's been making Dreadlings, this one's going to get to scrounge and make more stuff again as well. Which is pretty good for us. Man, we might beat this Rotpaw gang. That's sweet. I like it. I like it. So they're going to make a Dreadling here, because not only does it make this bigger and get in for 1, but then they can sacrifice it to the Rotpaw gang, which, like, this might have been reason to use my Acolyte of Shoku to eat their Acolyte of Shoku with the Aspect of the Squirrel. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have any way to play around something like Mistress of the Bone, so, like, it's not even worth discussing. Like, you don't play around things you can't beat. Axarch of the Egg is kind of brutal. So, kind of wish I would have done this now, because it looks like they don't have the Strangle, but I think it's worth having played around a second Strangle here on the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. Not actually sure. Yep. A Righteous Outlaw, you say? Huh. So this one doesn't give Crush, which kind of sucks. I think I'm just using this. And then I'm going to crunch with everything here. We'll see how things line up. They probably need to sacrifice this to give life drain to something. They are at 5, so depending on how they block, they could just die. They know I have another aspect of the Squirrel in my hand. Because they saw me scrounge this one. It's a real shame this one doesn't give Crush. When you create a new copy of Aspect of the Squirrel... Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was going to get a second one. Huh. Yeah, I should have thought about that. I think I'm just putting this aspect on here at this point. So that way I can kill their Acolyte of Shoku, which is their source of free idiots for this Rotpaw gang. Valor, that one's not particularly good. So this has 9 anyway, so this is killing Exarch and Rotpaw gang. I assume they're going to sacrifice this to Rotpaw to give it life drain. Yep. So they're going to end up taking... They're going to end up gaining 3 on this attack. No, they're going to give this life drain, so that's not going to be lethal either way. So I think it's worth it to take their Acolyte off the table, so that way they don't have a free string of things to make the Rotpaw gang get scarier. It's unfortunate that we don't have a Commander P.R.O.M.P.T anymore. What's our ideal thing that happens here? We want them to, like, hit, have resources, and then, like, hit a brick out of here. Most of their hits are good. Strangle doesn't do a whole lot. That's definitely one of their worst hits there. Since this is a nice 3/6. That's pretty good, because this has life drain. And they're going to get our Dreadlings back to their hand if they die. Two troops in there. Oh, we're not going to get any more troops in there because when they kill our troops with this, they're going to come back. Yeah, I think our opponent's stabilized at this point. The last couple of cards were a little bit too much to overcome. My Comcast may or may not be dying at the moment. And so this card, when they have 5 blood thresholds, which is exactly how many they have, it returns any troop that dies to play under their control. So I'm not going to get any more in my discard pile here. So I think I'm just supposed to pass. I think I'm just supposed to, like, yeah, I think we're just dead here. Tough. It was a close game. Almost beat the Rotpaw gang. I think it's stabilizing. We'll see. Wow, they just didn't do anything. Well, that's good for us. I thought they would have attacked for sure and made us... Alright, well, that's another resource, I guess. I mean, I guess they are winning the waiting game, right? It's probably going to be... Oh, they're making a battle hopper, okay. Kind of figured they'd make a blood and shoot this, but... Oh, they're giving this flight, which is then... I mean, this has Skyguard, so, like... we were basically dead if they would have just done that last turn, too. Alright, anyways, Do I want to trim some of these? I don't think I can actually afford to trim these even against a Hero Fall deck in this type of build. I think I'm going to trim some of these Blitzes. Maybe I am okay. I think I want the Pyre Strikes in my deck. Let me trim like one Dreamweaver Ancient because it's kind of expensive. I don't want those to clunk up. I guess Righteous Outlaw is pretty bad in this matchup. They have Bride of the Dam and Cottontail Explorer. Maybe leave a Blitz and bring in a couple Crocs. I don't hate that. Let's give that a go. Yep, their output game is just a little bit too tough. We knew the last card in our opponent's hand was a Strangle, so if we Squirrel plus block, we just die anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Stands a little bit mediocre against Hero Fall because of double Rune here, but, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and they won't have it. Question here is, you know, because I have two ramp guys, if they don't kill either of my ramp guys here, I might just wait till turn 4 to play both Runeers, because if these both live, I'll have 6 resources on turn 4, which means I'll be able to just go Runeer, and then that plays around Hero Fall nicely. Yeah, I'm just going to do that, actually. I'm going to play this Acolyte of Shoku out and pass the turn, and then if I get to ready with both of these, I'll get to just go double 3-drop. I don't actually know. This deck's probably not... It's almost certainly not tier 1. I don't actually know if it's very good. I just kind of like playing the cards that are in it. We threw it together last time we were streaming. That's really annoying because so whenever this damages us, they get to look at a random card in our hand, and if they find an action, they get to steal it and turn it into a Vampire Kiss. There's the... Can I not click on Vampire Kiss? Oh, because it's plural. That's an annoying bug. Yeah, I think I'm just supposed to go Runeer here. Like, they could have a chance to take my Pyre Strike with this, but I think that's worthwhile. Hopefully we win that coin flip. I guess this is good against, like, our aspect of the Squirrels. Alright, it's a 50% chance to be really sad here. Hey! We weren't really sad! Yay! So these Runeers not only have Swift Strike, but they also deal double damage. So, crunch. I'm willing to offer this trade at this point, I think. This would just get eaten by this, so there's no reason to attack with it. So this gives us a temporary resource at the beginning of every one of our turns. So it's like... That's really good. Do I want to strike this? Just so I can't eat my thing and I hit them for 13? I think I do. They think they're going to chump this 10 ball otherwise. So they'll take, this deals double damage, so they're going to take 13 here, 10 and 3, and pass the turn now. And the next turn, even if they have removal for this Runeer Hierophant, I could just, like, tap this Acolyte of Shoku twice to make 2 Dreadlings that are each going to attack for 3 because of the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, and then I can chant power something else and probably push lethal. They got a Steal Intel to their hand. That's Doesn't seem particularly good against me. Steel Intel is usually you want like more mid-range and control grindy matchups. But Steel Intel lets them take a card out of my discard pile and put it into their hand, and then it changes the threshold so they can play it. It doesn't, because they only have 4 resources right now. That's a pretty good hit. That's probably lethal then. So this Surging Wildfire comes into play, and we're going to champ power this one here. So champ power the Surging Wildfire, which they could hero fall, but if they're hero falling that, they're not hero falling something else. So that the Surging Wildfire gets to attack, it's going to hit my opponent for 7 directly, and then the rest of these nerds are just going to take them to Pound Town here. They have the hero fall for the Surging Wildfire, okay? Still just dead, right? Yeah, because you get to block the Rune here and then everything else kills you. I like getting people got. I'm just a simple man who wants to get people got, really. It's really not that complicated of a process. I just want to look at them and go, you ready to get got, opponent? Get got. Seems pretty reasonable. It needs a wild shard in 3 draws, sorry, a ruby threshold in 3 draws, but hopefully we can get there. We've got, we only have 11 ruby. We're a little light on ruby, but we'll see. We'll see. Two more shots. This Acolyte of Shoku lets us ramp up a little bit, gives us a temporary resource at the beginning of every turn, so we'll get to play that. And then turn 3, Surging Wildfire, assuming we hit the ruby. It's unfortunate. If they play Vampire Princess and we miss on the ruby, we're probably just going to play the aspect and attack just so they can't take it out of our hand. Yep. We hit ruby, I'm still just gonna Surging Wildfire, I think. Did not hit ruby. Okay, yep, I'm gonna go ahead. And aspecting this makes it a little bit of a threat, which is nice. I'm gonna be cute here and attack with it first, so that way if they block, they get aspected. And so again, I'm doing this because whenever this hits us, it can take an action out of our hand, so that's the only action in our hand, so let's just play it out. They have removal for this Dreamweaver Ancient. We're going to feel pretty bad, but if it is, you can see the Dreamweaver Ancient now, so they know it's coming. So if they have a Hero Fall or a Strangle, they're probably going to pass with it up. Hero Fall would be kind of detrimental because we have a second one in our hand that the Hero Fall would be able to get rid of. If they just pass leaving resources up here, we're not jamming the Dreamweaver Ancient. We might just, like, hit this once or twice. Like, hit this and then play the Lithe Lyricist. They got a Shard back with their Champ Power. It's not the druid I'm looking for. Let's do this and then attack for 5. They're hero falling my Acolyte of Shoku. Sure. So they must have another one, right? There's no way you burn that there without having another one. -1/-1. They're 1 blood threshold away from being able to steal our things. It's unfortunate. I'm a big fan of my things. That is what we call a fantastic draw in the biz. So they have a strangle, I'm gonna be sad. But otherwise. Ding! Stop, stop, roar! Dreamweaver is a 4-3. So, they don't have a strangle, so that's good to know, because if they had a strangle, they would have strangled the Croc there in response, so it didn't kill their guys. Vampire Queen, yep. Okey-doke. Dreamweaver Ancient. Many like him. This one is mine, and he's barreling in. So, when Dreamweaver Ancient hits my opponent, we generate a random wild troop with cost equal to the amount of damage he deals to the opponent. So, he's definitely getting in because he has Crush. We're going to get a random 7-drop that's wild. Sporomancer generated a Skyguard troop. Sign me up. Sporomancer says when this enters play, untaps, or diligences, readies, or dies, creates a Sparkle Cap with a random gem. I wish I would have known they had Vamp Queen. If I knew they had Vamp Queen, I probably would have, brought in Gale Force, but we didn't see Vamp Queen in the first game. 10 out of 10 blocking here. Getting this into play as fast as possible so they can't draw Hero Fall for it. Yep, I'm just gonna go and attack with all these. Just trying to race. Just keep swinging, swinging, swinging. Just keep swinging. Do, do, do. So we get a random 4-drop and a random 1-drop. Alright, that's the Surging Wildfire. It was actually kind of awkward because they Hero Fall that one, the one in our hand goes away. But it is what it is. Yeah, Aspect of the Squirrel would have been pretty good. I don't know if they can race this board. They definitely need some removal. Even if we hit a resource next turn, that means we could use our champion power. That's really unfortunate. Oh, geez, that's super unfortunate. So they kill that, but they have 5 blood thresholds, so they get into play under their control. That's not good for us. Huh. I'm gonna block here, so they only get a 2 cost. Do I want to block with this one too? What are the benefits of having 1 extra resource here? If I have that body and I draw a Blitz, I don't need the body for Blitz. I don't need the body for Aspect of the Squirrel. Do I need the extra? What could possibly benefit me for having the extra resource? If I draw Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, having the extra resource is worth it. So I'm gonna save the Lithe Lyricist because it gives me that extra resource. There goes Pyre Strike. Yep. Alright, Commander P.R.O.M.P.T would actually be a pretty nuts draw. That's an Aspect of the Squirrel. Are they just dead? I have plenty of troops in here, right? I think they're just dead. So I get to Aspect this twice and Valor it, and then it's going to deal damage equal to its power when it attacks. They only have 1 resource up here. I believe they're dead here. They haven't actually counted, but like... Yeah, they're dead. Alright, God bless. Man, Aspect of the Squirrel is great. Yeah, doggy! Giddy up! Alright. Get him. Got him. Good. Giddy up, little doggy. Surging Wildfire is a heck of a hex card. Heck of a hex card. I have a dream, and it is to ride the squirrel. To become one with the Aspect of the Squirrel. everyone's having half as fun as a Wednesday as we are. I am having a grand old time here. This hand's a good example of a hand that's got shards and non-charged. It's not worth keeping. Like, hand just doesn't do anything. We're an aggressive deck, so we want to be doing something by turn 3, ideally, perfectly before that. This hand doesn't have any action in it, but it's got plenty of resources, so hopefully we'll ramp on up. It's a minor gem. The Surging Wildfire just deals damage equal to its power directly to my opponent, and the first aspect had Crush. So the Surging Wildfire dealt 10 on its attack, and then it had 10 power and Crush, and my opponent was at 7 and only had 2 defense worth of troops. Opponent's playing the champion Uzu here, likely Empress. They let in a Sapphire coin. Yeah, Aspect with double damage, that card would be cracked in half. Like, it would probably have to cost 4 or 5. And then maybe it's not playable. Yeah, they're playing the Mono Sapphire Empress deck. Actually, I haven't played against this deck in a while. People have been a little burned out on it here at the end of the ladder season. Yeah, I'm just going to go Lithe here, and then next turn we could jam this Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, and we could actually, next turn, we could play Commander P.R.O.M.P.T and make a Dreadling with this Acolyte of Shoku, because we're going to get +3 from all of our Darkos here in play. Uh-oh! Uh-oh, is Timmy in trouble? It was the Valor Gem. The Valor Gem actually just doesn't do anything. This is kind of unfortunate, because now these can't attack profitably. Aspect of the Squirrel. Huh. Well, now they can. Am I just dealing combat damage here? I feel like I'm just dealing combat damage. Unfortunately, our opponent's going to kind of lock us out of the game this turn. Empress of Ice says if you have 5 Sapphire thresholds, your opponent's troops don't ready during their ready steps. So they're going to, if they have a resource to play here, which they likely will, they'll play a resource and then activate their champion power to give them another Sapphire threshold. And then none of my troops will ready anymore. Oh, do they not have it? Holy crap, they don't have it. Well, that's good for us, I guess. Man, that's actually, like, genuinely unlucky for them, because, like, they saw a lot of cards there. God, remember that time it was just a huge, giant luck sack? Pepperidge Farm remembers. My opponent saw 5 extra cards there, and missed on all of them, and then we drew another Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, yep, Aspect of the Squirrel is lethal. Lucky, lucky, lucky! Remember, folks, if you have to choose between lucky and good and you're only allowed one of them, pick lucky every time. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Alright, let's get the Crocosaurs in here. The all-skill kill. Blocking is for chumps. Yep, alright, so we're gonna get... I think I want some Gale Force and some Pyre Strikes. I'm not sure exactly how interactive I want to become in this matchup. I think Dreamweaver Ancient is probably a little bit mediocre because it can't attack... Actually, Dreamweaver Ancient is probably, like, super mediocre because it can't attack into Tribunal Magistrate or Commander P.R.O.M.P.T profitably. I certainly want these Gale Forces. I'm not sure if I want the Pyre Strikes or not. Probably a couple are fine. Some of these Blitzes seem mediocre. I'm going to bring in 1 Chomp for their Commander P.R.O.M.Ps as well. So let's give this a go, I think. Righteous Outlaw is not fantastic either. A lot of our cards are just not very good in this matchup, so I'm glad we stole that first game, basically. I think I'm going to cut these Outlaws on the draw and bring in these extra ones of these. And then maybe bring a Blitz back and a Chomp. I'm just going to leave all the Blitzes in so we can hope to steal a game like we did with that aspect of the Squirrel. I think stealing games, Karn for Warp Steel. I don't know that Karn's good enough against Warp Steel. Maybe the fact that it attacks for 4 with Prompt out makes it good enough. Alright, we got some interactivity here. We need a 3rd Wild Threshold at some point for this Croc, but, you know, other than that, pretty good. Now that the AC is running, I think your mother has the AC turned up a little high. It's a little cold down here. Uh-oh! We have the Skittering Cultivator on 2 here again. You're very loud, child. You know, after playing these games, I almost want a 4th Croc in my board. It's real good when we want to become kind of interactive. I might make that swap after this game. This card's like mostly fallen out of the format, but it's real good when it's good. Yeah, Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, Emperor's Tribunal Magistrate as well. Look, Timmy the Lamb is getting into some trouble, and Jake's a little worried about his well-being. So why we got the uh-ohs going on. Whole lot of uh-ohs going on. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Block. You want to transmog me? You can transmog me. They're burning a transmog on this. This is a transmog that's not getting burned on something else. You have a Consult the Talents too. It's pretty good. Ten out of 10. Would love to play this Rune Hierophant out here. This Rune Hierophant, because it has Swift Strike and double damage, it's actually able to cut down the Skittering Cultivator when it attacks, which is good for us. It's also able to block any kind of Dreadlings, even if they have a lot of large power bonus from a Commander P.R.O.M.P.T or a Tribunal Magistrate. My opponent doesn't lock us with an Empress here. They're going to be a pretty good spot. And even if they do have, like, Empresses and the Copycats, we have Gale Force to clean them all out. We also have Crocs that can come down next turn on the back of this Acolyte of Shoku, giving us an extra resource. Maybe this matchup's less bad than I thought it was going to be. I thought this matchup was going to be pretty bad at a glance, but it's actually looking like... our opponent got pretty unfortunate to lose that last game, right? Like, they did brick a lot, but... It feels like, especially post-board, we have plenty of tools to win this. So Croc gets to eat Depth Crawler and Skittering Cultivator, and then live to tell the tale. Makes the Rune here slightly larger here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Champion Power. And I'd like to get my Champion Power in while the getting's good, because my opponent doesn't have any resources up here, which means they can't, like, Transmog or Fade me or something like that to, like, deny me my Champion Power and my Rune Hierophant for the turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this to get my Kraken for 12. Gosh, you're loud, child. Alright, they have the Empress, and they have their 4th resource now, so they're going to get to exhaust down my Crocosaur here, and then they're going to get to activate their Champ Power and create a 5th Sapphire Threshold, exhausting this, and then none of my troops are going to ready here. We'll see how many Copycats they have. I've got plenty of removal in my hand, so this is not by any means the end of the game for us. There's the Copycat. So this is a free card, but you have to have 5 Sapphire Thresholds to play it, and it copies the thing you're targeting. Man, Man, I am excited to Gale Force this. So this does 2 cost, does 2 damage to each troop of flight, but it has the Empower mechanic. So I can make this a 4 cost that deals 4 damage to every troop of flight. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. What's the over-under on the concession here when we empower this? When we empower this Gale Force? What's the over-under on the 4-for-1 Gale Force? That's why the Gale Force is in there, ladies and gentlemen. Sweep them away. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Looks like my Twitch chat plugin is down. Apologies. Yeah, the chat. I don't have anything readily accessible to make that better, unfortunately. And then this Crocosaur is going to be super lethal next turn. We're going to get to Croc and eat both of these nerds and then attack. Alright, it's back. It's back. Cheer cup. Look. It's getting wacky and crazy in our Wildfire dreams here. I'm gonna play another match with this deck and then maybe we'll play something else to close it out. You read the card, sadness ensues. Oh, this does. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I figure anyone that's been around and has been foolish enough to give me dollars for an entire year, the least we can do is give them a sword. I mean, thank you for the continued support. Without y'all, I wouldn't be here. Hanging out, still playing children's card games during the day instead of doing actual work. I appreciate you all. You're enablers. You enable me to do what I does. Do I want the 4th Croc in the board? I don't know if we actually want the 4th Croc in the board or not. It's probably better than, like, there's like 3... This board is not well thought out. The 4th Croc is almost certainly better than the 3rd Chomp. Almost certainly better. I don't know. The board is just like, these are cards that are in these shards. Like, I mostly just like this main deck is all 4 of, so like... We didn't put a ton of thought into this deck. I mostly just wanted to play Surging Wildfire in Standard. It's doing a good job of that. Dum 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 dum. You looking out the window, buddy? Uh-oh. Would love to go first. This hand is great. This might be the best 7 we've looked at today, which I'm sure means we're about to get destroyed. But, like, this is 10 out of 10, probably the best hand we've looked at so far today. We were playing against the Empress deck again. Glad we put the 4th Croc in the board. Being on the play is going to be pretty important for this match, I think. Oh, lordy, that's another Blitz. Holy crap. So, because of this Acolyte of Shoku, if we hit another resource next turn, I think I'm going to play the Rune first, because then the following turn, we can go Surging Wildfire, Champion Power, Blitz, all in the same turn, and just, like, Hadouken them. Just Hadouken. Hadouken. I don't hate that idea. Just, like, try and grind a little bit. We definitely don't have good tools against control decks right now in the 75. So we hit the resource. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna play the Rune this turn, and then hopefully they play a 3-drop next turn, and then these blitzes just destroy them, along with the Champion Power and the Surging Wildfire. This deck asks the real questions. Why do these cards have to only be good? These are definitely like, this is my favorite limited archetype right here in my hand. Please play a Tribunal Magistrate or an Empress. God bless us. How dead are they? They have to be super dead here, right? Like on a scale of 1 to dead. So I do this. I do this. Sure, there's some eggs in my deck. And then... I guess they could theoretically Empress lock us here, right? So I Champ Power this, and then I'm going to Blitz this. And this is attacking for 18, so they have to chump block with their Tribunal Magistrate here. And then they're taking 18 from the Surging Wildfire. But they could Empress lock us next turn. But they are going to 5. Wait, did they not? Okay. Maybe their hand was bad? They could have blocked there and not died, but they died, so, you know, I'm not gonna argue with my opponent here. They did in fact die. I think Blitz is minorly better than Aspect. All of these could come in, all of these could come in, these could come in. Leave these 2 Blitzes in, call it a day. Yeah, I'll leave a Chomp. Let's do that. The number of people that attack into the Swift Strike double damage Rune Hierophant, and then there's just this long pause when, like, the Rune Hierophant kills their troop and is still on the board, and you just get, like, a ... in chat. You're just like, just, like, light up a cigarette. Yeah, they must have missed the double damage, right? Yeah, that's fair too. If they just, like, didn't have Empress plus a shard, just, like, they're probably dead anyways, so, like, whatever. Some Wasqui Wabbits here in our hand. We've got a Gale Force to get out from under an Empress lock, which feels good. So we just gotta try and not die to their Blitz, one of their faster draws. do have a third resource. Okay. Like they don't have a third resource. It's really bad for them. Alright, okay, sweet. We hit our third resource as well. Okay, do I want to go dupe? I think I want to just play the Rune here this turn so I can start attacking and defending. No, Howling Brave not being in the format is a good thing. As someone who's playing a deck right now that would 10 out of 10 be playing Howling Brave, it's a good thing to not have it in the format. Frostbite is savage. These are stunned, so they're not going to ready during my next turn. Holy crap, we're dead. They have a copycat, we might be dead this turn. Oh, geez, they have a cat, too. Yep, so Copycat's going to copy the Tribunal Magistrate, which then these are both going to power up my opponent's things. Like I said, we had to not die to their aggressive draw. We're going to take 20 here. Alright, I get it. I'm dead. What are the advantages to playing Hex versus Magic? Well, Hex does not require pants. If you want to compare it to Magic Online, the digital client is a little bit more smooth. They're able to kind of explore more design space in Hex than they're able to explore in Magic because of the digital space with mechanics like Prophecy or Fate Weaver, things like that. The resource system in Hex is better than the resource system in Magic, in my opinion. That's definitely a subjective thing. Hex is cheaper than Magic in terms of buying decks for a trading card game, but everything's cheaper than Magic, so I don't know if that's really a fair metric to go on. I think Rune or Hierophant into Commander P.R.O.M.P.T's a fine hand to keep on the play. Yeah, hopefully Magic's going to get their shit together with their current standard format, but like, Hex's standard format's been excellent for a while, and Magic's standard format has not been good in a very long time. Hopefully that's going to change now that, like, we're done with stupid combo decks in Magic standard format, but... Which I'm replaying Standard. I'm going to take a break for a little while, Maddie. I'm probably going to come back with Standard tonight after the kids go to bed. 2-drop Accelerant. 2-drop Accelerant. Yeah, another Rune here. Not that good. Being on the play is a pretty big game here. I think we're going to go like Rune into Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. Got rabbits, you could say. This also has Twinstrike and double damage, so this can't attack. If they've got a Transmog or a Frostbite here for my... Yep. Frostbite that down so they can get this attack in here and start being aggressive. We're definitely playing this one out before we play the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. Would love to draw a Croc next turn so we can eat up whatever they do. And they can Empress us this turn, which kind of sucks. If they have Empress plus a cat, we're going to be up a creek without a paddle. Unless we draw a Croc or a Gale Force. And even then, like, the tempo they gain from doing that is probably not going to be good for us. Okay, that's good. That means we're not getting locked out this turn. Sure. Something's getting transmogged, and I'll go with that. That's a Croc. Okay, so Croc means I can be a little bit more aggressive here. Because because it kind of gives me some insurance against a copycat next turn. Or an Empress of Ice. Yeah, I'm just going to go Commander P.R.O.M.P.T and then Smash here, I think. Yeah, I'm going to try and push for lethal, I think. If they have another Transmog, they have another Transmog. This actually only puts them to 1. So close! So close! We could die here, actually. If they have, like, Magistrate into some cats, or Prompt into some cats. Watch them just kill us here. I think a single cat kills us. Right? Yeah, I think a single cat kills us. Yep. So, that copies Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. Yep. Man! Oh, they got another one! Yeah, the Empress deck is so good. With 2 cats, I don't think I really had any lines, right? Oh, that's a good line, Croatia. So the problem with that is, like, if I croc and kill the cultivator. So the difference between the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T line and I guess because the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T didn't kill them, it probably didn't matter. That's interesting. We could have killed the cultivators, but the problem with that is then if they play Empress of Ice, we're just like locked out of the game. But then I guess that gives us redraws towards killing the Empress of Ice. Like I had Gale Forces and more Crocs in my deck. So yeah, maybe the more conservative line there is almost certainly. Let's just play one more match with this deck to close out the stream today. Yeah, the more conservative line there is almost certainly just like crocking away the cultivators. So, you can't measure correct play or not versus whether or not, like, what ended up working out. When you discuss what was a correct percentage play, you want to talk about it objectively without knowing the outcome. Like, if you know the outcome, all of your thoughts are biased towards the outcome that you know about. I actually didn't count if the... And this was, I should have counted. I've just been, like, slamming things into people and they've been dying today. So, like, I should have counted and realized that we were only going to hit for 22 there. And the fact that we were only hitting for 22 meant that I should have waited. But I mean, like, if they have Empress plus Copycat and I killed the 2 Skittering Cultivators, I'm not that screwed. Because then, like, Surging Wildfire could potentially kill them. Or, I could draw another Croc or draw a Gale Force, like... Alright, drawing another resource there is great, because if we ready with this Lithe Lyricist, we get to play Surging Wildfire, and if we don't ready with it, we still get to play Rune or Hierophant, so we got that going for us. I'm hoping they brick off and die. That's a Flickering Gobbler with a combat training, so I think we have the tools to race what they have going on right now. We'll see. We'll see. I kind of want to hit. If we hit a wild next turn, we can kill them, right? Because if we hit a wild, we get to go Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, Champ Power, Blitz, and then, like, hit with a giant wildfire. Yeah, and, like, learning to be objective is definitely one of the more important skills you can have as you're developing and becoming a better player. Like, being able to look at something and go, well, what we did didn't work, but we took the right play anyways. Or, even more importantly, being able to look at a situation and go, well, what we did worked, but it was still wrong. We shouldn't have done that. We're dead next turn, right? Their Flickering Gobbler has 5, and it's going to 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're hitting us for 9 next turn. Can I kill them? So this Blitz is basically 8, and this is 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm short on being able to kill them this turn, which is really unfortunate. So I mean, I guess I'm just playing this and attacking, since we need another turn anyways. So kill me, I guess. We're dead. We're dead to a lot of things. We're dead to another combat training. We're dead to a Lasgar's Vengeance, I believe. So if I would have hit any resource there, I would have been able to play the Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, which would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then, yeah. So if we would have hit any resource of the Commander P.R.O.M.P, would have been lethal with the Blitz. But there's a combat training. It's hitting us for 9 right now, so we're dead to another combat training, which is exactly what they have. So we're going to end up being a turn slow because our opponent, or because we missed a resource there. A little unfortunate. I'm going to bring in Gale Force. We're going to bring in Carnasaur. I'm just going to trim the Dreamweaver Ancient off the top end, I think. We don't really need that longevity. Aspect of the Squirrel is a little bit clunky. And bring in a Pyre Strike, too. Seems fine. Yeah, we drafted about an hour ago. This is a constructed deck that we're playing. I know we've got Surging Wildfires and stuff, but this is a standard constructed deck. Seems reasonable. Maybe Righteous Outlaw is not supposed to be in my deck. I can see that being the case. I mean, the Immortals format has existed for like less than 6 months, so I think expecting it to be anything too much more than it is right now is kind of unreasonable. Also, the Immortal format was created like during the midst of Hex's split from Gameforge, so that definitely held some things up too, I'm sure. I do agree that the current support for Immortal is less than stellar, but Hex has had a history of making reasonable choices when it comes to events, so I think we'll hopefully see that change moving forward. That's pretty good. Hopefully they miss a shard here. Be ideal. Alright, well, I have to Pyre Strike the Righteous Outlaw here, otherwise it's going to get to flip and eat my Graven Guys. No, so the Immortal Championship is still happening, but like, a tournament every 2 months that you only have to earn 20 tickets to play, like, isn't really incentive to play a game. Isn't really incentive to play the format. Like, you need to have some kind of on-demand prizes or something that you could, like, play, like the constructed ladder. I'm gonna do this, I think, and then play this Acolyte out. They want to shoot down my Graven Guys, they can shoot down my Graven Guys. Maybe I should have left this back so I could threaten a block so they can't make a Valor here. They might just make a Valor here. Nope, they did flip it. Okay. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter where the support's coming from. It doesn't matter if the support's coming from Hex Primal or Battle Shopper or Hex themselves. We just, like, need things to play for prizes. Oh, they had a combat training. That's annoying. Yeah, and even then, like, you're only given incentive to play those 10 games per month, assuming you can play in the championship. Like, if you're not free that one weekend, like, you suddenly have 0 incentive to play the format. This is really annoying. Yeah, that's fine. We've been running pretty hot with the deck. Might as well run bad a little bit here at the end. So close that last game and just coming up short this one. Yeah, but sure. But I mean, assuming you're only winning half your matches too, Assuming you're only winning half your matches as well, like, that's only incentive to play, you know, still a very small number of games, like 20 matches a month. I should stop attacking with this. I'm so dumb. Oh, dude. Oh, look. Another non-resource. Man, games with resources in the deck are fun. Oh, this has Scrounge. That's funny. Yeah. The Scrounge from the Graven, guys. Okay. Oh, and this gets bigger. Well, I mean, I guess we will attack with it now. Well, if they don't kill that, they're dead next turn. Can you stop yelling? You're very loud. You're very loud, oldest son. My opponent has a damage-based removal for this. We can Blitz to protect it. Sure. Okay, so they're... Say they attack here, but I believe they're dead. Unless they have a free Laskar's Vengeance. They have a free Laskar's Vengeance. They're fine, obviously. Alright, sweet. Well, we were both Threshold Light, or Resource Light, and it looks like we're going to come out ahead anyways. So, Blitz... This Dorko, I guess this gives Crush, right? Might as well. And then this is gonna hit my opponent for 8 directly and kill one of their troops. Yep. Alright, so I brought in my Karns. Maybe I want my Crocosaurs in this matchup. Does that seem unreasonable? It doesn't. Like, they've got Righteous... The fact that they have Righteous Outlaw in their deck makes me want these Crocosaurs, I think. So I'm gonna cut... I cut that. I hate that I have to regem these when I accidentally cut one or bring one in like that. It's really annoying. Hopefully the new deck editor is going to have a gem all the same button. That's 10 out of 10 towards the top of my Hex wish list. This seems fine. It needs a ruby, but you know, some hands need to draw resources, some hands don't. And we've been very good at drawing resources so far this match, so I feel like we're gonna get there. I did put Valor Creation that by mistake, didn't I? I did not. It's supposed to be Swift Strike. And watch me draw that one and get punished for having swapped it. No, should have been Swift Strike. You're very loud. We drew a Ruby. So we've got Karn into Rune here, and then if we draw one more, we can hit Surging Wildfire on 4, and then hopefully Blitz them out of the game. Change Course. Interesting. I wonder if there's Phoenixes in their deck. They have the Phoenix sleeve, so I feel like with Change Course, there has to be Phoenixes in their deck, right? Man, hopefully they play Flickering Gobbler and make a Bumblebot next turn. Maybe. That's an interesting thought. Especially on the draw in game 3 here. Yeah, I could see that. Let you play offense and defense simultaneously too, which is nice. I could definitely see that being useful. Huh. Am I supposed to just Karn this? I feel like I'm supposed to just Karn that and preserve my life total here. And then this can trade with this guy. So I put a combat training on here. And if they go to, like, feed the flames or cremate this, I can blitz to protect it, which is nice. Sure. I'm going to block here, and because my resources are so tied up, I'm going to go ahead and blitz to make this live through combat. If we get hit with quick removal, we'll feel a little bit bad about getting 2 for 1, but, like, I'm probably not going to have a... probably not going to have an opportunity to get that back at any point, so that's fine. Shard, please. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and attack for 1 and then pass the turn here, I think. If my opponent plays Flickering Gobbler or even just combat trainings up this Bumblebot, we'll Gale Force to take it out. Four drop is like a shard, right? This deck probably 1 resource light, honestly. There's only 23 resources in it. Yep. Just gonna play this now to be resource efficient. I already skipped my thing, so might as well. Shard would be great here, so we can do this. Sting. I guess we have 8 accelerants, so the number of resources we're playing is probably fine. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and get in my champion power hit while the getting is good here, so they can't transmog or fade me or do anything silly like that. So just go ahead and get my 10 ball in with my +6 off of here. I think they just wanted to trade 2 for 2 Klets. Like, there's a good chance that transmogging it turns it into something that trades with their 2-1. Feed the flame scrounged. Yep, Surging Wildfire down. If we get a resource next turn, we'll probably go Rune into Acolyte and then follow up with Commander P.R.O.M.P.T the next turn. That was an ambitious line. Let's go with ambitious. They played to act. I don't think this returns their combat trainings. Yeah, it returns my combat trainings if I had any. Okay. They played their 2 actions on my Strider Scout, so their Sun Soul Phoenix was free. This Phoenix might kill us before we can beat through their stuff. They have 3 trainings in their hand right now. Alright, resources pretty good. So they're obligated to block both of these this turn, otherwise the Blitz is going to kill them. And then next turn I play this, and they have to block 3 things, so they need to hit another Phoenix here, so that way they can go training, Phoenix, and kill me. They should be dead here, because all 3 of their cards in hand are combat trainings. Solo battle would have done it too, yeah, you're right. Return the favorite Blitz's guy. Opponent concedes. I guess they're just assuming I have the combat trick. All right. At any rate, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream for this afternoon. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with some more Hex TCG action. Probably playing some more Constructed, maybe a little bit of Immortal as well, prepping for the Immortal Championship this weekend. And then if you're a Magic player as well, I'm going to be back on later tonight after the kids go to bed, playing some of their standard Constructed format now that Aetherworks Marvel is banned. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I will catch y'all around.